I've been coaching for 10 years, training for 13, and during that time I've coached 400 men worldwide into the shape of their life. From pilots to factory workers, from business owners to individuals offshore. Any job, any situation, and any starting point. They all achieved a life-changing transformation, taking on average just 16 weeks. I myself have a disability where my bone died, resulting in a permanent deformity which I need a hip replacement for. But I've still managed to achieve my dream body, which was all made possible by learning these exact rules. Here is 13 years of training and nutrition advice in 15 minutes. 1. A calorie is not just a calorie. This is a huge one that if you understand, you will drop fat, as Cameron understood it and lost 6 stone. A calorie is simply a unit of energy, and 10 calories in a cucumber is no different to 10 calories in chocolate. However, they will both affect you differently, and a great analogy that I like to use is the mile or kilometer, wherever abouts you're from. Now, no matter what, a mile is always a mile. But now imagine you had to go 10 miles. Again, 10 miles is always 10 miles, but let's say one time you had to go 10 miles, but the road was straight and you were allowed to cycle. Then take a separate 10-mile route, but for that one, you've got to walk barefoot, and every second mile, you've got to go up a 30% incline. It would be substantially harder, and the same thing applies with food. You can make fat loss so much easier by prioritizing nutrient-dense, high-volume, quality food sources. It's not that you need to say no to junk food. You can certainly include it, but the bulk of your diet should be made up of high-quality, high-volume, nutrient-dense food choices. 2. What isn't measured isn't managed. Whatever your goal is in terms of physique development is an emotional journey, as fundamentally you're trying to change your appearance. So the less data you measure and the less data you track, the more you base your decisions off emotion, which is why people stay fat. They don't track the food, they weigh in sporadically, and you wonder why you don't see a result. It's because you're leaving everything to chance and feeling. Even something as simple as committing to jumping on the scales every single day will make you more self-aware and force you to make better choices. As since you know you're going to hop on the scales the following day, you'll think twice about shoveling a takeaway down your throat because you don't want the pain of jumping on the scale the next day. So measure as many variables as you possibly can so you can tweak, chop and change things so you can stay on track towards the result. A few things that I recommend that you track is your body weight fasted every single day, the food that you're consuming, the weights that you lift in the gym, your steps, your sleep, and your water. Then simply make adjustments each week depending on whatever your goal is, and within 16 weeks you could literally have a result like Alex. Number 3, you can't outtrain a bad diet. Even the healthiest, fittest and most active man in your city will gain fat if they eat too much. Think of it this way: how quickly could you smash in a Snickers Duo? I'd say it would take you max 10 seconds, and a Snickers Duo is 400 calories. In order to burn 400 calories, it would be heavily exercise dependent, but it would take you on average 30 to 60 minutes, which is a hell of a lot of time for literally a 10-second choice that you could just not make, especially if you're a busy guy who's got a busy work, family, and social life. So when it comes to fat loss, think about prioritizing your deficit with food first. Then once the calories are low enough, you can start incorporating steps in cardio. 4. Cut before you bulk. 90% of people are stuck in the area what I like to call scubby, which is where you're carrying too much body fat, but you also feel a little bit skinny. And the reason for this is because you're not committing to one goal, either a fat loss phase or a muscle building phase, and you're trying to do too much at once, which results in making zero progress and looking scubby. You should almost always cut first, because if you try and commit to a bulk with body fat that you're already unhappy with, it's only going to get progressively worse as you move through the bulking programming. Not only that, you actually build more muscle when you're leaner, and as you go through the bulking process, you're actually going to love the way that you look, yet again making sticking to a bulk so much easier. A brilliant test I get all of my guys to do if you're still sat on the fence and unsure what route to go down is pause this video, go to the mirror, take all of your clothes off right now, look at yourself dead in the eye and ask yourself, are you happy with your level of body fat? If it's no, then you need to cut. If it's yes and you love the way you look, then by all means, get yourself on a bulk. Number 5. Just start. There is never a perfect time. A good frame that I like to use here is literally, what is the alternative? You stay fat, unhappy, anxious, depressed, avoiding mirrors, buying clothes that you don't like just to mask the fact that you're unconfident. No matter what, life and days are going to pass you by. So why on earth would you want to wait until there is some sort of perfect time, hating how you look and feel every single day. Whether you can train 1 time per week, 2 times per week, 3, 4, or 5, something is always going to be better than nothing. And regardless whether you can train or have the time to train or not, you are always, as a full-grown adult, in control of the food that you consume every single day. So simply make better, lower calorie, higher volume, nutrient dense food choices today to start working towards getting the body that you want. Because reality check here, if you actually want to go far in life, you're always going to be busy. If not, you're going to get even busier. If my client Sam can drop nearly 100 pounds of body fat training 3 times a week at home, then so can you. You just need to start. 6, it's harder at the start. Stop waiting for motivation to start because you just won't have it. Or if you do, it might last a day, it might last a week, it might last when you get your first pair of trainers or you get your supplement order in, but I'm telling you now, it won't be there forever. Real motivation comes when you actually see results because you believe the process actually works, and results only come when you take action. So if you don't take action, you're not going to get results, you're not going to get motivation, and you're always going to be where you currently are. There is only one way to get a result, and that is put in the work. But it is supposed to be hard, especially if you're just starting out. Think of the first time you went on a date, or the first time you started to drive, or your first day at work. In the beginning, it is difficult. You're anxious, you're stressed because you ultimately don't know what to do. But then over time, your confidence progresses and you get good at the thing. No different to health and fitness and changing your physique. Even me, I've been in this game for 13 years. I struggle at times, but I've saw the benefits of what you can actually do when you change your physique and how it makes me feel. So that is my motivation to keep going, and it will be yours if you stick to the plan. 7, everyone has time. Everyone literally does have the time. And if you think you don't, do yourself a favor. Go and walk over to the mirror, look at yourself dead in the eye and call yourself a big fucking liar. Because everyone has time. Given some people are going to have more than others, but no one on this planet Earth is too busy to not do 3 or 2 45 sessions per week. But let's say you work 9 to 5. In fact, actually, no, let's be more aggressive and say you work 8 till 6. What are you doing between 5 and 8 and 6 and 10 every single day? If I told you that you had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to this certain destination for 5 in the morning, and I'll give you £1,000 there and then, and you got that £1,000 every single day for the week, I can guarantee that you would be there because it's instant gratification. And also, a quick side note, check your screen time. If you've got over an hour on Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform you use, you've got 1 hour to stick something in the oven, the air fryer, the frying pan, while you crack on with your day, so it cooks, so you're prepped for the day ahead. Or at the very least, if you're someone who travels a lot and doesn't have time to prep, you can use that 1 hour to research different restaurants or different supermarkets that you will have the capacity to go to so that you can actually track and buy your food from there and be planned ahead of time. Number 8, if it fits your macros is why you're fat. Now, I'm not going to sit here and explain everything about macros. I'll save that for a different video. But it's common and trendy these days for coaches to preach that you can eat whatever you want as long as it's within your macros, which is totally fine. And there is truth to that. But most coaches are saying that because it sells. If you took 2 guys, duplicated them, they were both on the same macros and calories. One of them had 5 protein shakes and 10 Snickers bar in a day. The other one had 4 high quality nutrient dense meals with 1 little snack that they enjoyed. Both will lose weight, but one will be less stressed, have more energy, build more muscle, build more strength, drop more body fat, and ultimately just look and feel better. That's the one that eats the high quality food choices, just in case you didn't know. And the sole reason for this is to just have a much easier time sticking to a deficit because of the food choices. Fitting something that you love into your macros daily is absolutely spot on, and in fact I recommend it, but cramming as much as you can in there just for the sake of hitting your macros is the reason that people stay fat. Number 9, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Picture this, you go to set off on an 8-hour drive down the country to stay over at your final destination for 3 nights. What would you do in preparation? You wouldn't simply just in the same clothes that you wear and jump in the car, raw dog a drive for 8 hours, get to the destination without a map or a sat nav, and just don't even take a bag to be prepped for the 3 nights. You would plan your route, make sure you had a sat nav or a map. You would pack a bag that would last for the full 3 days so that the entire process and trip went smoothly. The exact same principles apply With your body and physique development, the more variables and more things that you prepare ahead of time will massively reduce your stress in the following days and weeks. 60 minutes of meal prep will literally save you hours the following days. 10. Don't take advice off anyone who doesn't live the life that you want to live or have the result or outcome that you want to achieve. People take advice off friends, family, and colleagues on what they should be doing. But if they don't have the desired outcome that you want or live the life that you want to live, then any advice that they give you is just complete sabotage. As although the intentions might be great, it's not coming from a place of complete confidence, but instead just what their perception of your situation should be. For example, I can give you fat loss advice because me personally, I've been absolutely shredded with a disability and I've got 400 men all over the world in phenomenal shape as well. So I quite literally have undeniable proof that I am who I say I am and that I can do what I preach that you should do. But if I was to give you dental advice, it would be complete sabotage, as all I will be telling you to do or giving you advice on will be what I think is right. So then next time you're thinking about taking advice off someone, just ask yourself, do they live the life that I want? Have they achieved the outcome that I want to achieve? Or have they got a proven record of actually achieving that result with other people? If not, listen to them, but just completely ignore them because it is sabotage. 11. Ignorance debt is killing your happiness. If you're on the exact same spot as you were 6 months ago or even worse and you've been trying, then that should be a reality check. You need help. A good quote from Hormozy is that the biggest debt that anyone owes is ignorance debt, which is the debt you have for being ignorant of the information that you don't know. Everyone has it, and it's the most expensive debt that we all owe. If you don't know something and someone else does, then not investing in that to know that is literally keeping you unhappy. You can absolutely spend thousands of hours every single year researching on Google, TikTok, YouTube to find out what you think are the right answers in regards to fat loss and muscle gain. Or you can spend 300 days within the year trying on your own to get somewhat of a result that you think is the result that you want. Or you can simply pay someone who's already put in the 10,000 hours themselves and learn everything there is, made mistakes so that they can teach you so you don't make them same mistakes and get the result that you've been trying for the past 6, 12, 18, 24 months on your own in literally a matter of weeks and months. Number 12, restriction is needed. As much as you want this to be a sustainable lifestyle without any restriction, it is slowing your progress down. The goal is to get your dream body and then sustain it for the rest of your life. But to achieve a result like Mirage, you have to have some restriction in the short term if you're serious about getting that result. Restricting things for 10 to 16 weeks will set you up for a life of loving the way that you look. It really is a small trade-off in terms of time. And restriction, I don't mean that you only have to eat boiled chicken and broccoli. Just restrict the amount of calories that you consume, putting yourself in a deficit, say no to alcohol, and minimize off-plan meals as much as you can. You don't have to, but I can guarantee the more restrictive you are in the short term, the better you'll feel in the long term. Because once you've got your dream body, just like Mirage did, you can ramp up the calories, you can remove the cardio, pull your step count down, and you can go for multiple off-plan meals every single week whilst currently loving the way that you look. 13, machines are better than free weights. Now, this one always rustles a few feathers, but you need to stop getting married to specific movements just because your favorite old school bodybuilder did them. The key with any movement is to build muscle, and to build muscle, the more stable you are, the more force, production, and tension you create within the muscle you're intended to grow. The more stable you are, the less energy it actually takes to perform the movement, which is energy you can then again apply more force and more tension within that same intended muscle you want to grow. Think of a dumbbell press and a machine press. Both of them will build you muscle. One of them takes a ton of energy to pick the dumbbells up, put them on your knees, kick them up, get yourself comfy into position and press. And not only that, when you go really heavy on them and they're up above your head, it can get pretty scary. Whereas a machine removes all of that fluff, you just have to get in and press. Now, there is a caveat to this because some machines are absolutely terrible, but if your gym has good or decent machines, then use them. You'll build more muscle. And that is 13 years of training and nutrition advice. And I can guarantee you, if you follow all of the principles listed in this video, then you will completely change your life. But it is a lot of information to take in. And if you want help applying all of these to you so you can pay down that ignorance debt that I mentioned within this video, then hit the top link in the description, book in a call. It is completely free. What we'll do is we'll just come up with a roadmap. Obviously, I would love you to come on board, but if you don't, you can use that roadmap, take it away, apply it to yourself, and have a crack on your own, but at least you'll get the advice that you need to get you your dream body. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content, because I'm going to be pumping this out regularly, and drop a comment if there's any other topics that you want me to cover.